think? Colour's pretty good, eh? It's very flat though. The light is coming from, hang on. It's gonna look like you're my left, but it's actually my right. The light's coming from the side. I don't really want to. I'm just debating whether to take an image like this that I've took before, unless the conditions are really good, or I'll get some nice, interesting light, which helps pull the eye down that pathway. I don't really see the point of taking it again. But because that light's flicking in and out, I'm torn whether to spend any time and sit up and wait. You know what it's like. I'll wait and a half for 20 minutes. I'll go, and then the light will come. So maybe I'll just and a half for 25 minutes, or maybe 30. So much colour in these woods, and I love the way that these leaves are sort of backlit, where the leaves sort of stand out from the blue, cooler background, where these sort of reedy trees are so dense and heavy populated that the colour really pops. And there is some green still left in. Maybe we could find something in here to shoot. Maybe. If we're lucky. It's very hard to obviously compose, it's very dense. You never know. You see, it's like a little walkway for, I don't know, obviously mammals, badgers, foxes, deer. You get a lot of muntjac in this particular woods now. The temperature's really cold. It's like there's almost like a bit of mist of fog rolling in. You can kind of see from the background what I was talking about, them cooler tones. It makes the colour really pop. Right, so we're going f/16. I'm shooting a third 1.3 stops under ISO 50, and my exposure is a second. I could do with that being a bit quicker, so I'll up my ISO to 200 and put my exposure down to 1.3. That gives me half a second. Because I have got a little bit of foliage at the top. I've got foliage everywhere, but I've got a little bit of foliage at the top I want to be sharp. So I'm just checking my sharpness, and it's not too bad. Obviously I've focused right in the middle. There's quite a bit of distortion, which I'm hoping the profiles in Lightroom will help with. That's kind of what I'm doing. I want to use the wide angle lens in a way that shows off the tree, really sort of exaggerates the shape of this tree. It is a really, really, really nice shape. You never know, I quite like it. I do quite like it. Let's shoot it 2 stops under. On that dark sort of image with a nice blue background. This week's video is sponsored by Case Filters Magnetic Revolution System. made from toughened Wolverine glass, which is lightweight and fast to use due to the magnetic system, and optically neutral. With an extensive range of sizes and filter types for all genres of photography. Be a part of the case filters revolution. So a really good tip for focusing, especially in complex scenes like this. It's hard to pick out where you want to focus, but what I tend to do is, with this lens in particular, I have a aperture ring. It works obviously you can do it in camera, but I find it quite handy in adjusting your aperture if you do have an aperture ring on your lens. What I'll do is I'll pick where I think I need to focus. So I'm going to take a shot because the light is sort of glowing in and out. And what I'll do is open my aperture right up to, in this instance I can open up to 1.8 if I want to, just to brighten the image up. Let more light in. It's easy to focus. The images that obviously they seem to be very overexposed. Manually focus on where you want to be, and then close up your aperture. In my instance, I'm f16, and that way, and then it's all manual. Nothing's going to change. If you're not moving your camera, nothing's going to change at all. I'm back with another live. I just thought I'd bring you along, like I'd like to do every now and then. I'm sorry, I am distracted by the mum struggling. It's poor timing. I don't think she expects, or anyone expects, a weirdo to be stood in the woods on his own. But here we are. Right, I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. This is a tree I found. It's pretty gnarly. I believe it's a beech tree. Just by the shape. I know people get confused thinking they're oaks because of the shape, but normally beech trees are very up and down. Yeah, they are normally are very up and down, but this one isn't in particular. I'll just show you my composition. It's just a little gripe of mine. I like the composition a little bit. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure about this area. I like this colour, don't like this stick. To be fair, that is dead, so I could just shift it if I'm honest. I might do that in a minute. But this, you see this tree over here, these three trees. The problem I've got is I really want this here, on this gap, on this separation, so you can really see this gnarly branch, which I've got as we stand. But these two trees, these little silver birches, coinciding with each other. There's no separation. So what I think I'm going to have to do is move to the right slightly. Excuse me. And just make sure that I'm still maintaining this gap here. Just to create a little bit of a gap between them trees. They're little small minute details that I think make a big difference. So here we are, all moved. So you can see, oh, where's my finger? There it is. You can see there's a gap now. To the right, I've tidied up all this deadfall that was hanging. It was dead. I didn't realise this branch that was coming up here. This is obviously isn't dead, so I haven't touched that. We've still got a little bit of colour here. Downside is the branch that was hanging down here was pulling. Let me show you. Just point up that little bit of colour here I actually quite liked in the scene, was being held down by a twig that was hanging down. So now I've removed that deadfall, which I did find quite distracting. If I want to create a little bit of room here and not cut the bottom of the tree off, I have to lose that bit of colour. Just if I leave it like that, it's distracting. And I want to create a little bit more room maybe there. So I'm going to close that down like that. Not too much, mate. It's quite nice. Might take one like that as well. But I quite like quite like this here, this bit of room I've got here. I like the glow that comes around the side, whereas if I close it off like this, maybe it's distracting, maybe I'll take a shot like that. So the light really is coming in now, really harsh now, but because I'm in quite a dense area, it's actually quite nice, because I've still got like a subtle light. The background is really starting to get blown out, which is helping the tree pop. Now dynamic range is an issue, so not necessarily with the modern cameras these days, but the way I want the image to look is